Hello and welcome to this video lecture in which we will be going to discuss the slope deflection method and how to apply it for the analysis of any portal frame. Now we have number of methods to analyze any continuous beam or a portal frame which is statically indeterminate. Now when we think about the structural analysis, we have different methods to analyze the continuous beam or a portal frame. The methods are like three moment theorem for the analysis of continuous beam. Now for analysis of continuous beams and portal frames, we have slope deflection method, then moment distribution method. Also we can go for matrix methods of analysis. The first one is stiffness method and the second one is flexibility method. Now as far as the structural analysis is concerned, the slope deflection method is very important method and which is very easy to understand, where we can use it for the analysis of a portal frame. Now when we design any RCC structure or when we go for a steel structure, in that case we can have any frame which may consist a beam and a column. So in this case, how we can analyze this frame, that we have to see in this particular video. So for that we have taken one example of a portal frame. So here we can see, here we have this portal frame where we have one beam and one column and it is subjected to some external load, and if we see its degree of static indeterminacy, we can find that it is statically indeterminate. Now for the analysis of statically indeterminate beam or indeterminate frame, we cannot go for directly equations of equilibrium and we cannot draw its bending moment diagram or shear force diagram just by calculating the reactions initially. In this case, first of all we will go for the calculation of bending moments and then we can go for finally the reactions and then we will go for shear force diagram. So this is a regular process in case of a statically indeterminate beams or statically indeterminate frames, that first of all we have to go for the calculation of bending moments and then we have to go for the reactions. Initially we cannot find out the reactions as we have less numbers of available equation comparing to the number of unknowns. So here this is the case of a statically indeterminate structure where we have this portal frame. Now we will see in detail how we will analyze this portal frame. So here we have one example of a portal frame. Now we are going to analyze this portal frame by a slope deflection method. So here this is the example. Here we have this portal frame ABC, where this AB is a column and this beam PC is a beam. Now here it is subjected to uniformly distributed load of 6 kilonewton per meter. So now when it is subjected to uniformly distributed load of 6 kilonewton meter, how we can analyze this portal frame? Using slope deflection method. So here we go for the first step. Now the first step is that we have to divide this portal frame into some segments, or we can say that each member of this portal frame we have to consider it as a fixed beam or a fixed column. Fixed beam or fixed columns means what? Whose both ends are fixed in this case. So let us start from this column AB. Here we have this column AB. Initially both ends of these columns we have to consider it as a fixed. So for a span BC also, or a segment BC also, we are going to consider its both ends as fixed. Now in structural analysis we have the concept of fixed beam. Now when any fixed beam is subjected to some load, at its both ends some movements are induced. So those movements are called as fixed end movements. Now we have standard conditions when fixed beam is subjected to point load at the center, when a fixed beam subjected to uniformly distributed throughout its span, when a fixed beam subjected to couple at some distance or at center of the beam. Then what are the fixed end movements? Now these are some standard derivations, standard equations we already have studied in structural analysis. Now here in this case, as this column AB is not subjected to any load, so in this case whatever end movement induced here, we can say this is fixed end movement, that is M bar AB and M bar BA in this case. So M bar AB and M bar BA here in this case they becomes 0 as there is no any load acting on AB. So here M bar AB and M bar BA both are 0 in this case. Now let us go for the next span or next segment, that is BC. Now here in this case, as we know that it is subjected to uniformly distributed load. So here we have to write down this is uniformly distributed load of 6 kilonewton per meter. Now because of this uniformly distributed load acting over this BC, here these two movements are induced, that is M bar BC and M bar CB. Now because of the deflection of this beam, when it is subjected to uniformly distributed load, this M bar CB will be developed in clockwise direction and this M bar BC will be developed in anti-clockwise direction. Now to find out this M bar BC or M bar CB, we have a formula, that is WL square upon 12. Here it is WL square upon 12. When it is subjected to uniformly distributed load, the fixed end moment is WL square upon 12. Now for M bar BC means the end moments at B. In this case, it is in anti-clockwise direction. Let us assume anti-clockwise as minus. So here it is minus WL square upon 12. And for M bar CB, here it is plus WL square upon 12. Now in this case we can put values of uniformly distributed load. Here it is 6 kilonewton per meter. So 6 minus 6 multiplied by its span is 4. So therefore 4 square divided by 12. So when we will solve this, then we'll be getting M bar BC as minus 8 kilonewton meter. Its unit is kilonewton meter as it is a moment, so its unit is Newton meter. Here the load is in kilonewton, so its unit is kilonewton meter. Now same thing for M bar CB, only difference is that it is clockwise, as we have considered is now as a plus. So here we will be getting the same answer because the uniformly distributed load is same, length is same. So here it is nothing but 8 kilonewton meter. So now this was the first step for the calculation of fixed end moment, that is the initial step for the analysis of this portal frame using slope deflection method. Now we have to go for the next step, that is slope deflection equations. Now while studying the derivation of slope deflection equations, we have to study what are the slope deflection equations for different spans in any continuous beam, or same thing we can apply it for the portal frame. Now let us start how to write down the slope deflection equation for span AB and then second for BC. So let us focus on the first span, that is AB, and starting from A means MAB we have to write. So MAB, that is slope deflection equation. Now MAB stands for the end moments or final end moment for AB, which is at A. Okay, so therefore MAB in this case it is M bar AB, that is a fixed end moment at A. Here we have already written, that is M bar AB plus twice EI divided by L inside the bracket twice theta A plus theta B. So this is the equation of a slope deflection for a span AB for end moment at A, that is MAB. So that is M bar AB plus twice EI upon L inside the bracket twice theta A plus theta B. This is the equation. Now that is equal to, now here in this case we know M bar AB is 0. So M bar AB we will write it as a 0 plus twice EI as it is divided by, now the length for AB is 4. So divided by 4 inside the bracket. Now at A it is theta A is nothing but the slope at A. Now in this case we should know that when we have a fixed support, always we know that for a fixed support the slope is always 0. So in this case we can say theta A will be 0 in this case. Okay, and what about theta B? As it is a rigid joint, so the rotation or the slope at B is possible, so we have to write theta B as it is, and theta A will be 0 in this case. So in this case now when we will find MAB, we will be getting MAB is equal to, now when we multiply this, so finally we will be getting 0.5 or 0.5 EI theta B. So this is the first slope deflection equation for a span AB which is at A, that is end moment at A. Now let us go for the next one, that is MBA. Means again it is for a same span, that is AB, but it is at point P or it is at joint B. Now in this case let us first try to draw or write down this slope deflection equation. So therefore that is equal to M bar BA plus 2EI upon L inside the bracket twice theta B plus theta A. So this is one simple equation for a slope deflection of span BA for end moment at a B, that is MBA. So let us solve this equation. That is equal to, now M bar BA already we know that it is 0, so 0 as it is, plus twice EI divided by the length for BA or AB, it is same, that is 4 inside the bracket. Now in this case theta B is possible, so you can write down theta B as it is, twice theta B. And what about theta A? Theta A again it is 0 as it is a fixed support, so it becomes 0 in this case. So now when you will solve this, MBA will be equal to, when you will multiply here you will be getting MBA as EI theta B. Okay, now we can go for the next slope deflection equation, that is for span BC. So first of all write down the equation for MBC. So MBC is M bar BC plus twice EI upon L inside the bracket twice theta B plus theta C. The logic to write down the equation is very simple. You just see the end moment, that is MBC, then first of all write down its fixed end moment, then plus twice EI upon L as it is, inside the bracket multiply by 2 to the slope at the first point. Here first point is B, so its slope is theta B, so just multiply it by 2 and then plus theta C, that is the next point, so slope at the next point, that is theta C. So it is very simple. Okay, so that is equal to, now M bar BC we know that. What is M bar BC? M bar BC is minus 8. So when we will be solving this, minus 8 plus twice EI divided by, now length for BC is again 4, so therefore 2 EI upon 4 inside the bracket. Now if you see joint B, the rotation is possible, means slope at B is possible, so twice theta B will be as it is. And if you go for the next joint, here we have a hinge support, so for hinge support also we should know that the rotation or slope is possible, means it is not equal to 0, so you have to write down theta C as it is. Now we have to solve this equation. So when we will solve this equation, here we will be getting minus 8 plus, when you will multiply here inside the bracket, you will be getting EI theta B plus 0.5 EI theta c. So here you will be getting the equation for MBC. So this is the third equation of slope deflection. Now let us go to the last slope deflection equation, that is MCB. Now if you see MCB, again we have to develop first equation. Again by the same logic, here we are finding MCB, means first of all its fixed end moment, corresponding fixed end moment, that is M bar CB plus twice EI upon L. It is same just like the previous equations. Inside the brackets, twice of slope at the first point. The first point is C, so twice theta C plus the second point is B, so the respective slope is theta B. Now let us put all values. M bar CB is plus 8, so plus 8 plus twice EI upon, again the length is same, that is 4, inside the bracket. Now here in this case also theta c is possible, as we already discussed that here it is a hinge support and this is a rigid joint. So at both joints the rotation is possible. So write down this as it is, twice theta c plus theta b as it is. So finally you will be getting equation for MCB equals to 8 plus when you are multiplying inside, first of all we will consider a term of EI theta b. So here it becomes 0.5 EI theta b plus EI theta c. So here we will be getting the equation for MCB as 8 plus 0.5 EI theta b plus EI theta c. Now one thing we should know, that when we have the simply supported end in case of a continuous beam or in case of a portal frame, always we have to remember one thing, that the bending moment at this simply supported end will be always 0. So if bending moment at this simply supported end will be 0, the respective end moment at this particular point will be again equal to 0. So we can equate this equation of MCB equals to 0. So we can reduce our number of unknowns. Now for drawing the bending moment diagram, first of all, using method of superimposition, we should know these end moments, that is MBA, MBC, MCB and MBC and MCB. Okay, so now if we are able to find out the value of EI theta b, here we can see this is EI theta b, EI theta b, EI theta c. So in all these four equations we have the unknown thing, that is EI theta b and EI theta c. So our next step is that we have to find out the value of EI theta b and EI theta c. Once we are able to find out EI theta b and EI theta c, then we can easily find out these end moments, and then we will go for the bending moment diagram. So let us see now. Now to find out this EI theta b and EI theta c, one thing we have used, that MCB is 0 in this case, as we have this simply supported end, so it means equals to, it is 0. So let us, we can say this is equation number 1. We can see here this is equation number 1. Now as we have two unknowns, that is EI theta b and EI theta c, we have this first equation. So as we have two unknowns, so we need two equations. So one equation already we know that it is equal to 0. So let us go for the next equation. Now how we can obtain the next equation? For that we can go for equilibrium conditions. Now here we can apply the conditions of equilibrium at a point B. As we know that at any point on a beam or on any structure, when this system or when this structure is in equilibrium, the respective or the total movements at that particular point should be equal to 0. So here in this case also, at a point B, the total movement should be equal to 0. Now what are the different movements at a point B? At a point B, here we have MBA and MBC. These are the two end movements at the same point, that is B. So their addition must be equal to 0 in this case. So we can write down that MBA plus MBC must be equal to 0. So this is very important condition, that is equilibrium condition, to solve such type of examples of slope deflection method. So we have to remember this, that at any joint or at any point the total moments are always equal to 0. So what is MBA? So MBA is EI theta B, EI theta B plus, now what is MBC? MBC we have already written here, that is MBC minus 8 plus minus 8 plus EI theta B plus 0.5 EI theta C equals to 0. So just simplify this equation. So here we have twice EI theta B plus 0.5 EI theta C is equal to 8. So let us say equation number 2. Now here we have the first equation, that 0.5 EI theta B plus EI theta C. You can take this 8 on right hand side, that is equal to minus 8. And second equation now we are having, that is twice EI theta B plus 0.5 EI theta C. Now these are two simultaneous equations. Now we have to solve these two simultaneous equations. So by solving, equations 1 and 2. Now when we will solve these two simultaneous equations, we can use a calculator and we can solve it. You will be getting EI theta B is equal to and EI theta C is equal to. So these are the two unknowns in this simultaneous equation. So when we will solve this, we will be getting EI theta B as 6.86 and EI theta C as minus 11.43. We have to use calculator, and by using these two equations, that is first and second, we will be finding this EI theta B and EI theta C. So these are the two unknowns we have calculated. Now we can go for the last step of this end moments calculation. So here EI theta B is known to us, EI theta C is known to us. So if you go for MAB, next MBA, next MBC and MCB, we can easily calculate what is MAB, what is MBA, what is MBC and what is MCB. So simply we have to put value of EI theta B and EI theta C in respective equations. So let us go for the first one, that is MAB. So MAB is equal to 0.5 into EI theta B. So when you will multiply 0.5 into 6.86, we will be getting MAB as 3.43 kilonewton meter. So we will be getting plus sign. So MAB, as it is plus sign, means this end moment will be clockwise in nature. It should be clockwise. Now let us go for next end moment, that is MBA. Now MBA, it is nothing but equal to EI theta B. EI theta B already we have calculated, that is 6.86. So we can write as it is, that is 6.86 kilonewton meter. Again it is clockwise. You see their final signs. If it is plus, as per our sign convention, it is clockwise. If it is plus, again it is clockwise. Go for the next one, that is MBC. Now for MBC, here we have to put simply value of EI theta B and EI theta C, which we have already calculated. Now when we will solve this particular one, when we will find this MBC, we will be getting MBC as minus 6.86 kilonewton meter, and as we are getting minus sign here, it is anti-clockwise in nature. It is anti-clockwise in nature. Now you can verify your answer at this level only. When you are calculating this MBC using a calculator, whatever value you are getting, here we are getting minus 6.86. it must be equal to MBA, but their signs will be opposite. Means our equilibrium condition gets satisfied, that is MBA plus MBC is equal to 0. If you verify our answers, MBA plus MBC will be getting the total answer at 0. So our answer will be get verified at this stage. Okay, and finally MCB, already we know that MCB is 0. You just put those value and you just verify your answer, that you'll be getting MCB as 0 in this case. So this is one very important step for calculation of end moments in case of this portal frame. In continuous beam also same procedure we have. Now after finding these end moments, finally we go for the bending moment diagram. Now for bending moment diagram, we have to use the concept of superimposed bending moment diagram. Now what is superimposed bending moment diagram? For that, let us see now. As we have these end moments, that is MAB, MBA, MBC and MCB, first of all we have to draw a bending moment diagram because of these end moments only. So we will first draw the bending moment diagram because of the end moments, and then we have to go for the bending moment diagram because of this applied load when we are considering the spans as a simply supported beams. As initially you can see, we have considered all the segments or all the beams or all columns in these portal frames are fixed, but basically if you see the original condition, it is not like that. Okay, so initial assumption is that considering the span as a fixed, and then the second assumption is that considering the span are free, means they are simply supported. So let us first draw the bending moment diagram because of the end moments, and then because of the applied load what will be the free bending moment diagram. So here it is the combination or the net effect of bending moment diagram because of the fixed ends and bending moment diagram because of the simply supported ends. So first draw the bending moment diagram because of the fixed ends. So these are the final end moments for those fixed ends. So for MAB and MBA, if you see their nature at a point A, so again we have to draw the same frame like this. So here I have drawn it already. Now bending moment because of this MAB, it is 3.43, which is clockwise in nature. It will be creating a sagging bending. This MBA will be creating hogging bending. So I will directly show in the diagram that I will show the hogging bendings on or outside of this frame and sagging bending inside the frame for the first step. So let us draw at the point A. The first value is 3.43. It is sagging in nature. So as per our sign convention, we are showing sagging inside the frame, hogging outside the frame. MBA, that is 6.86. It is again clockwise, but its bending moment, if you check, if its effect you will check, you will be getting it as hogging in nature. So here it is 6.86. 6.86. So we can join now these 2 points. We can join like this. And next for BC now, because of this anti-clockwise movement, that is 6.86, the respective bending moment will be again hogging in nature. So as per our sign convention, again I am showing hogging bending outside this frame. So 6.86, and end moment at C point is 0, so respective bending moment will be 0. Again we have to join it. So this is the bending moment diagram because of the end moments only, Now we have to superimpose the bending moment diagram considering the span as a simply supported beam. So now for first case, that is span AB, which is a column in this case, for this column we don't have any load. So if we don't have any load, there will not be an issue about the respective bending moment diagram considering AB as a simply supported. So let us go for the next one, that is BC. Now this BC is subjected to uniformly distributed load. Now we know that if you consider this BC as a simply supported beam, when you will draw its bending moment diagram, you will be getting its nature as a parabolic and its maximum value will be WL square upon 8, WL square upon 8, which we already studied in structural analysis. Maximum bending moment for a simply supported beam when it is subjected to uniformly distributed load, its maximum bending moment is WL square upon 8 and its nature will be parabolic. So for a BC, you have to show the parabolic diagram which we have superimposed like this, which we have superimposed. Now this parabolic bending moment diagram is sagging bending, basically it is a sagging bending, but for superimposition we have superimposed on it, okay, hence we have taken it on outside its frame, okay, means above this beam, okay. Now we have to show the uncommon part of it, okay. So just show the uncommon part. This is uncommon part, this is also uncommon part, and this is uncommon part. Now in this case, if you see this total value of this parabola, this total value, it is nothing but equal to WL square upon 8. This is equal to WL square upon 8. That is the maximum bending moment for this parabolic bending moment diagram, and its answer is 12 kilonewton meter. But if you see this uncommon part, this is the net bending moment diagram. Means what? If you are interested to find out the value at the center of this span BC, in this case you have to consider this total as 12 minus this height of this triangle. Now this triangle is exactly here, the height of this triangle, it is exactly at the mid base of this triangle. So here the total is 4 and this mid base this center point is at a distance 2 meters from the end. So at this height you have to calculate what should be the height of this particular triangle. So here this is 3.43. Now when you will subtract this 3.43 from the total one, the total is 12. So when you will subtract this, here you will be getting the final answer as 8.57. So 12 minus this 3.43, finally we'll be getting the answer as 8.57 kilonewton meter, and we have to show all these signs. Here already it was plus, so it remains plus. This was minus, this was minus, uncommon part, and this was plus. So this is the final bending moment diagram for this portal frame. Now after drawing this bending moment diagram, finally we can go for the shear force diagram. But for shear force diagram, we need calculations of reactions. Now in this case, if you know the values of bending moments at a point A, at a point B, and at a point C, for example, if you know the value of bending moment at a point B, and if you take a section at B, and if you divide the structure into two parts, suppose if you take the section at a B, and if you are considering this right part of the section, means it consists only this beam and this support, you can easily calculate the reaction at a point C, that is RC in this case. So just by equating the bending moment at a B, which we already know that bending moment at B is 6.86, which is hogging in nature. So by just equating the equation of bending moment, here in this video I am not going to show here, but you can calculate it, that is RC into 4, and this 6 into 4 into 2, you just have to equate this equation of bending moment to minus 6.86. You can easily find out this RC. So first unknown reaction we have calculated. After finding this RC, similarly you can find out the support reaction at A, support moment at A, and you can finally go for the calculation of shear forces, and you can easily draw the shear force diagram for this particular portal frame. Now here if you see this portal frame, basically it was a non-sway frame. Non-sway frame means what? The lateral deflection of this frame is not possible. Here in this case at end A this is a fixed support, and at C there is a hinge support, so there is no any chance of lateral deflection of this portal frame. So basically it is a non-sway frame. Now similarly we can analyze sway frame also, where the lateral deflection of the portal frame is possible. The procedure is quite different comparing to this procedure, but the steps or the basic fundamental of the method, that is slope deflection method, will be same, only we have some little differences while analyzing any sway frame. So thank you.